Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10, broadcasting on Channels Television live from Lagos and Abuja. Here are the stories making our headlines this hour. The World Health Organization backs use of ZMapp vaccine for the treatment of Ebola virus disease. Presidency replies Northern leaders over ultimatum to President Jonathan, says action is uncalled for. INEC fixes October 11th for Adamawa governorship election as political parties prepare for the exercise. And thousands of civilians are trapped in northern Iraq following 10 days of fighting between Islamic sect ISIS or IS and Kurdish troops. You can always read up more on our top stories on our website. It's channelstv.com and on youtube.com/channelsweb. But do visit m.channelstv.com so you can view us live on your mobile device and download the Channels TV app for Android, iOS and Windows phones from their respective stores. We also encourage you to interact with the Channels Eyewitness feature on our Android, iOS and Windows 8 platforms. So if you have pictures or videos to share with us, tap the application on your device, swipe to reveal the Eyewitness menu and follow the instructions. Speaking of those eyewitness reports, here are some pictures sent in by some of our reporters. Let's begin here in Lagos, showing you this bad road that has been divided by erosion at Bale Crescent off Unity Road in Ikpaja, Lagos. From Ondo State is this picture of the Kariakoko and Ubiakoko Road that has been damaged by the rains. Our eyewitness reporter is asking the government to please step in quickly and fix the road for easier access of vehicles. Finally, on a lighter note, yet serious one, is this picture of cows struggling with vehicles for supremacy of the road along Apo roundabout in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. To keep those pictures coming in, we do appreciate your eyes. You are our eyes out there in the world. Now, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has fixed October 11th as date for the governorship election in Adamawa State. The state's resident electoral commissioner, Alhaji Kasim Gaidam, told journalists in Yola, the state capital, that INEC is making adequate arrangements to ensure a free and fair election. The state's governor, Murtala Nyako, was impeached in July by the State House of Assembly over allegations of corruption, abuse of office, and gross misconduct. We're staying with election and electoral matters. Osun State Governor Aregbesola today received his certificate of return from INEC. And this followed the governor's victory at the August 9th governorship poll. Speaking at the INEC office in Oshogbo, the state capital, the governor thanked the people for re-electing him, calling their action a victory over military intimidation.
Nigeria is a creation of law. All the offices we occupy, from president to messenger, are all creations of law. So whatever it is that violates Nigerian law is criminal. And when I mention criminal, let me explain to you why you must not take illegal order. What separates you as law enforcement agents and law violators who become criminals? Simple. Your appearance and your attitude. That's the distinction between you as law enforcers and criminals who are law violators.
Take you now to Abuja, where Gloria Umezoke is standing by to give us more on elections. Hi, Gloria.
Hello, Amarachi, and welcome to the nation's capital. The Department of State Security, DSS, has appealed to politicians not to involve security officials in politics. While attributing the success of last Saturday's governorship elections in Osun State to the presence of security in the state, a DSS spokesman, Mrs. Marilyn Orga, said the much criticized heavy security in Osun ensured that the elections were peaceful. She said this during a news conference at the National Information Center, Abuja, where the coordinator, Michael Mary, also confirmed that the Emir of Gwoza, who was declared missing after Boko Haram attacked his community at the weekend, is alive.
If security forces were not there, the story about Oshogbo would have changed. Now, if security forces go out to do that the Nigerian citizens' tax money has been paid for them to do, I wonder why. I said it earlier today that God is a Nigerian. If God was not a Nigerian to give us the president that he gave to us, in the past, people will not be making some of these allegations that we are making. We should not abuse people's goodness. Right from last week, we had warned that political parties should, as much as possible, leave security forces out of politics.
We wish to inform you that the Emir of Gwoza, Alhaji Mohammed Idris Atimta, who was reported to have been declared missing last weekend when members of Boko Haram invaded his domain, is alive and not missing, as was reported by the media. Our security forces are sufficiently armed and committed to not only flushing out members of Boko Haram, but working assiduously to ensure a guaranteed, peaceful and desired atmosphere required for development.
The president today fired back at a faction of the northern leaders who yesterday gave him up until October to produce the Chibok schoolgirls or forget about 2015 presidency. The president's special assistant on public affairs, Dr. W.H.O, in a statement today described the ultimatum as preposterous and one meant to cause what he calls hate mentality and mischief. He said that the president does not need an ultimatum to do its job and that he is doing a lot to rescue the Chibok girls. He pointed out 7 areas where the president has demonstrated great concern on the Chibok issue, to include improving on the military's professional and personnel capabilities, taking advantage of the offer made by the international community, and securing the nation's borders, among others. According to Dr. Okukpe, the issue of insurgency, especially those ideologically based on Islamic extremism, is a global phenomenon and requires tact, military capability, serious de-radicalization techniques, and community-based counter-insurgency programs to ensure success. The 2015 general elections have been slated for February next year, and already the fever has started to spread. Politicians across the country have begun preparations. One state that will draw attention in the governorship election is Lagos. The opposition party in the state, the PDP, has its eyes on the government house, and this time they appear confident of winning. Well, some leaders of the party came together in Lagos today and announced that they have far-reaching plans to unseat the APC.
A unity song they start with. This may not be the usual gathering of the People's Democratic Party, but a critical situation most times requires a critical remedy. The need to win over Lagos for the PDP has become critical for this one gathered in this room. The PDP patriots, they call themselves, a movement to assure victory for the party come 2015.
This time must be different. Effectively, we need to have decent democratic ethos which should guide our conduct, especially in picking our candidates at all levels of the party. And by so doing, we can have candidates who emerge as representing the will of the people rather than imposition.
The PDP primaries in Lagos is looking to be one of the most competitive, considering some of the names in the bag. Some of the front runners include a former party's candidate, Adedosumu, Segun Ogundemu, Babatunde Gbadamosi, Adedeji Akindoherty, and a new entrant, Jimmy Agbaje. Overpowering the APC in its most favored ground may be a hard task. Some other members are confident that the time has come to unseat the ruling party in Lagos.
With a stronger, more virile, wiser, smarter, more agile PDP in Lagos, we now have experience of 16 years of not winning state government elections, and we have learnt our lessons. I believe we have, and this time we will win elections in Lagos State.
We are mobilizing people to vote for PDP because we have lofty programs for the generality of the people of Lagos.
It's about 6 to 7 months to the 2015 general elections, but it appears that the battle has already started. Well, for the PDP, they're resolute that they will take over the reign of affairs from APC as the ruling party in the state. When the time comes, when the gladiators get on the ringside in the political battlefield of Lagos State, it's going to be very interesting, and we will now wait and watch how it all plays out. From Lagos, Sheun Okimaloye, reporting for Channels Television News.
Northern delegates at the ongoing national conference has disowned the draft Constitution 2014 document distributed by the conference secretariat yesterday, saying it is a bid to push a third-term agenda for some incumbent office holders. Well, this position was presented to journalists after a one-hour meeting of the delegates in Abuja today. The delegates say they want to disassociate themselves from the document, even as they called on Nigerians to also reject it, insisting that the conference lacks the legal authority to draft a new constitution.
We northern delegates to the conference wish to assure patriotic Nigerians and all lovers of democracy that we are neither privy to nor we accessory to the emergence of the controversial new draft Constitution 2014. We therefore unequivocally disown it and emphatically disassociate ourselves from it. Adopting a new constitution is therefore calculated to enable incumbent elective office holders who are statute barred from going for third term at both federal and state levels to run for offices again under the guise of running under a new constitution. This will also have the consequential effect of depriving aspiring politicians from all political parties as well as all Nigerians of their rights to choices and preferences as enshrined in the Constitution.
The Inspector General of Police has asked the United States and other international partners of Nigeria to support the Nigerian police force. At a meeting with the Deputy Head of Missions of the United States, Mr. John Bray, IGP Suleiman Abba explained that this has become necessary as the federal government plans to recruit over 15,000 officers and men into the force. On his part, Mr. John Bray gave the assurance that the U.S. will continue to support the Nigerian police, especially in its counter-terrorism operations.
And we have a very long historic relationship with your service here. We have always been able to depend upon you. And hopefully you've been able to depend on us. We look forward to continuing the good relationships we have into the future, which include anti-terrorism assistance training. We've done a lot to work with your explosive ordnance teams in the north. We've done a lot of help with your investigative teams, and we hope to continue this cooperative relationship.
I hope this will not only continue, but will continue to strengthen this relationship in these particular areas and perhaps in other areas that have not been exploited, such as the community policing. That was commenced very long ago, and I must say that I'm not too happy with the state of things as far as community policing is concerned. I'm sure this is one area that I will be putting a lot of, if you like, call it pressure on the mission to ensure that that is fully resuscitated so that we benefit immensely from it. Several efforts are being made, in particular by the present government, to reform the Nigeria police so that we meet or we get close to achieving the requirements in both. I'm aware there is approval already in terms of recruiting more personnel for the Nigeria police, and this we hope will commence soon. Whatever will benefit in this kind of mutual gathering, will get it and make sure that it's done for the benefit of every Nigerian.
When the news at 10 returns, market watchers forecast a 0.1% increase in headline inflation rate for the month of July. And that's in business news. Join us again.